Fight fans, this is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I am live for a live late night evening chat. And this is Battle of Bastards. And a lot of people ask, why do I call it Battle of Bastards? What is this, Game of Thrones? No, this is not Game of Thrones. This is Game of Thrones. No, actually, I call it the Battle of Bastards simply because the heavyweight division has so much potential, but then yet we don't have the fights that we need and we don't get. And what is a bastard? A bastard is an illegitimate son, right? Father without a son, a bastard. Okay, well, these fighters don't have a partner, and it's so many untapped fights that we should be seeing. We should have seen Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua years ago. We should have seen Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua years ago. The fights we did see were always fights that we didn't really expect. Abiola, Adebayo, hello, Jacko Bliss, Kurt, my man, realest boxing, absolute ever. Appreciate it. Preach it, brother Kurt. Rod, counterpunch to you. Listen, yeah, watch that white car. Look, stop. Let them go ahead. There you go. But what's with the champs acting like tramps? Oh, bars. Andrew Tremley coming in with those bars late night. Man, I don't know. One Love, man, Canadian label. Counterpunch to you. No, you're not. Go ahead. Turn around. Turn around. But what can you say about Fury pulling out from the fight? Man, you know what?
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but I have some stuff. I don't know if you will want it because I had some extras.
Okay.
There's little Bratz mini dolls.
Oh, cool. Where'd you get them?
Just Target. I just already have these, so if
Oh,
you
cool.
want some, they're all hers.
Thank you very much. What's your name?
Chloe.
Chloe. I'm Kurt. Chloe.
Nice to meet you.
All right. That's Marley there.
My husband's sister has the same name.
Marley, come here. Yeah. Go ahead and give it to her.
Awesome. Hello.
This nice lady would like to give you something. Kurt helping pedestrians be safe. Damn. Absolutely, man.
I was one of these. I saw this on YouTube.
I know, I love them. And so I was like, I already have these.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. You'll have
Thank
a
you,
good
dear.
time.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah.
I saw one of these.
All right. Well, you can go ahead and put them up. Just park your. No. Well, okay. Yeah, that'll work too. All right. Proceed.
Thank you.
Proceed. Okay. Robert Harrison, counterpunch to you. Jesus. No, man, but I have a whole dude, I've done a saga on Tyson Fury, and I just it's a big rant, so I want you guys to stay tuned for that. I'll drop it probably in this, I've got about 6-7 fire videos coming at you guys in the morning. I do so many, I don't want to just put too much at you guys. I don't want to oversaturate my audience. You guys are my audience. I appreciate you, but I'm gonna let that flow when I let that video go. Bars. But yeah, safe and short. Yeah, it's pretty untapped. That's one of the reasons for this video here, so we can talk about that briefly. Let's talk about the just boxing, current boxing landscape as a whole. Strange, I got the notification for this stream, but I'm not subscribed. Raven Aussie, that's weird. That's weird. I'm not complaining, I'm just explaining, Raven. So, but I think and I feel that a lot of these fights should have happened. And I think it's a lot of uncertainty. Hit us with that fire. Thank you for being a reasonable voice in the fight game. Andrew Tremley, absolutely. I have no other way. Speak my mind. Nobody can buy me out. You know, we started from 200-300 subscribers, and we're at 74K now. You ready to go? But I'm not 100% sure that Wilder beats Helenius. Abiola, you can't be. This is the heavyweight division, and it's so delicate because you don't know. Because once you expect a fight to go a certain way, or you get fooled. I'm afraid for Wilder. Jon Snow versus Ramsey Bolton. No, this is heavyweights versus heavyweights that never fought, that should have fought. See, these guys should have fought 2 or 3 times already. We should have seen the outcome of each and every fight. Liverpool in the house, gang number 1. Counterpunch to you. Kurt, things look bad in Florida. Yeah, man, it went from Fiona to, what is it, Ian?
Wait, can I do something really quick?
Yeah, sure. That beard looks fake. No, bro. It's all me, bro. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, David Jones. Well, since I'm here now, I will subscribe. Raven Ozzy, welcome to the club, man. Welcome to the club. But, nah, man, we should supposed to seen so many different fights to this era, to the point it's like Sly underscores tendencies 87, Counterpunch to you in the piece. Yeah, Tyson should have fought Joshua. We would have seen the outcome. Joe Joyce should have fought guys like Dillian White, Derek Chisora. Those fights should have happened, you know. But instead, fights that all these fights that we've received, damn near all of them, 85-90% of these fights were fights that when the fighter won, they weren't the favorite. And when that normally happens, that means upset. You guys do know that, right? When, like Daniel Dubois, Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce wasn't supposed to beat Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois.
Come on, let's go.
No, I'll put it up there. You go ahead in. Daniel Dubois was not really supposed to lose to Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce was older. At that time, he was probably about 35. He was a late bloomer. He was slow. And they thought that Daniel Dubois was just going to spark him out, because Frank Warren's Daniel Dubois and the potential he saw in him was simply a pre or a BT version of Anthony Joshua. That's how they looked at him. Daniel Dubois was that guy that they were marketing. You know, he had a story. He had a backstory. He had the sparring war with Anthony Joshua. The rumor he knocked Joshua out. It's true. He knocked out Joshua. So, you know, those type of things like that give you steam, especially when you're coming on the scene. Bars. Do you guys understand? Joshua fighting Ruiz. Ruiz supposed to just been a guy that lost to Joseph Parker, that was deemed to be beaten again by Anthony Joshua, coming into the American market. Listen, Joshua was supposed to be in America fighting by now. He probably would have fought Deontay Wilder or someone like Deontay Wilder by now. Okay, even though that was some, you know, unforeseen stuff, but he's supposed to took apart who? He's supposed to took apart Jarrell Big Baby Miller, right? Sly underscore tendencies coming in with that $5 love. Thoughts on Andrade? Was Charlo right about him being a pull-out merchant? He's got a track record of doing this, but it seems like it's backfiring. Sly underscore tendencies. Yes. There's no other thing that you can say about him. He pulls out of fights. He procrastinates. And like the cable guy with Jim Carrey, whoever procrastinates masturbates. And that's exactly what he did. Yep. Fury ducking everybody. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Fury like, hey, I'm not trying to hear none of that noise. I'm like, what? Dude, Joey's just destroyed your brother. What are you going to do? Take cover? Bars. Usyk wants to put Joshua in a coma for throwing his belts out of the ring. Steve Hawk, he's trying to do something. Because a third fight, I'm looking at that like, yo, why do we need to keep stressing these fights and these fighters? You think Joshua lost his fucking marbles when he fought him again? Imagine if he loses to him a third time. He'll be in the fucking nut house. He'll be in a straitjacket. How did you beat me? How did you beat me? Give him a cocktail. How did you beat me? How did you get your hands off of me? Who are you talking to? Oh, how did you beat me? Skrilla 50 in the building. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. His pullout game is strong. Oh, I must admit, I always saw Dubois as the new Mike Tyson. Well, I didn't see him as the new Mike Tyson. I seen him as the Frank Warren's version of Anthony Joshua. You know, quiet guy, humble guy, doesn't talk too much. But I think Dubois, everything fell apart at that one time. He started turning into an ass. What did he do? You know, Big Wah. I know I'm dropping them bars, baby. Daniel Dubois said some foul shit about Joe Joyce's mom. I'm like, yeah, you think, yeah, good thing your mom blind so she won't have to see you get knocked out or some foul shit like that. Man, 3 times with Joshua Usyk playing with fire too much. Dude, I don't want to see that 3 times. I didn't want to see, truth be told, I did not want to see Wilder and Fury 3 times. Why? I want to see Joyce versus Joshua, Wilder versus Ruiz, Usyk versus Fury. Let me switch that up. Furbonilla. This is what I want to see, right? I want to see Joyce take out fucking Ruiz. Why? Because Ruiz is a kind of a peculiar cat. He got a good chin too. Joyce got a good chin. Okay, Ruiz got his chin back because he got his fat back. He got the fat back in his back, right? So, I want to see Joyce take on Ruiz. I want to see Joshua take on Wilder. And I want to see Usyk take on Fury. That's how I want it. Because, for one, those are 3 fights that we may never see happen. For one. For 2, those are probably the best matchups because you'll see a slow, hard, tough, rugged fighter in Joe Joyce versus if Andy want to take on an older fucking guy, take on Joe Joyce, a guy that's indestructible, and see if, you know, those punches won't accumulate and knock his ass out because somebody's getting knocked out. Because one thing I like about Joe Joyce, he ain't taking no prisoners. He ain't fighting you to just, hey, let me try to outpunch you and outbox. He's fighting to knock your block off, and that's exactly what he did to Joseph Parker. Salute Kurt, praise the Lord Jesus Christ. Renee Padilla, praise the Lord Jesus Christ to you too, brother. Ray's Marshall, Big Baby Miller, and Joyce both coming forward at each other. Maybe all right to see differences in can Miller keep forward all night without the peds. Well, that's the problem. And he would probably get just overworked and swarmed by the punches of Joyce because Joyce will pretty much, see, when you're tired, there's no rest, especially when you're getting bombarded. So when there's no rest, you can't rest when someone's punching you in the face. So then you start to freak out. You either hold, slip, duck, or you freeze. And when you freeze, somebody's going to knock you and beat you down to your knees. But like Rocky Balboa says, it ain't how hard you get hit, it's how hard you get hit and still keep moving forward. So we can see, and we will see if Jarrell Miller does that. But more than likely, we're going to see Dubois get that Miller fight. You know, because then if he beats Miller too, he will have 2 fighters that he's snatched that L from. First Brian Jennings, second Jarrell Miller. You know, and they both look like on the bottom barrel side of the American heavyweights. Deontay Wilder, Michael Hunter, Jared Anderson, you know, Frank Sanchez, he's Cuban, but he's a part of the Americas too. So those guys are on the upper end, right? Deshaun, salute Counterpunch boxing news and boxing fans. Salute to you, Deshaun. It's crazy that everyone wants to be the cash cow, but they don't want to fight the best fighters to make their resumes better so they can become one. Yeah, they don't want it. They don't want it. Everybody want to be Mayweather. It ain't Mayweather. Ex-Ace 99 times. Big up, Kurt. Joe Joyce will give Fury some problems. I believe so. I believe he'll give anybody problems. And I think the only way you beat Joe Joyce, you got to outwork him. And then you beat him to a decision, which will be hard as hell. Or 2, you stop him and you drop him. That's it. or otherwise he's going to beat you down, and he's not going to stop because he's one of them dudes. He's dangerous. He will take your punch to throw his own. See, when Joseph Parker was hitting him, he was like, "Damn, Joe," but damn, Joyce. I see Fury outboxing him, not going to KO. Not going to happen with the Juggernaut. Well, if he hurts Tyson, he's in a world of trouble. Because, see, Tyson ain't been in with nobody relentless like that. That's his problem. I think it's a lot of untapped stuff with Fury. That's why Fury, before he's talking about he's the best ever and the best that ever lived and the best, dude, that comes with a standard. You got to be, if you claiming to be all that, you better be willing and able to beat and kick every ass, every challenge in the heavyweight division. You can't just beat Wilder and White and sit on the throne saying I'm the king and I don't have to fight. Bars. You know this. Canelo fought all the people Andrade didn't. He fought Lara after Andrade called Lara boring. Well, Andrade's famous for getting clowned by Canelo. That's what he's famous for. It didn't even benefit him. He did like Doug Williams when Jamie Foxx clowned Doug Williams. If you guys don't know Doug Williams, Jamie Foxx clowned Doug Williams. He's another comedian. And like he put him on like the back seat for a long time. Chino Figueroa, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. I'm only 16 minutes in. Let's get it in. Hold on, guys. Jamie Foxx put him in the body bag. Yeah, he did. Slot tendencies, you know what I'm talking about, right? He put him in a state that he didn't even really want to. He didn't even want to. I didn't see him for a long time. Like, you see him on smaller stuff, but you don't see him like talking about. Yep. And it was like, I'm your conscience. TV Knowledge, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Have you heard anything about Spence versus Crawford fight, Kurt, or Spence waiting him out? Man, I don't, look, this is my problem. At some point, people need to stop pretending like if this is a one-sided thing. They have to stop pretending like this is it's Terrence's fault. We need to stop pretending like we don't know whose fault this is. Like, it's either you're going to fight or you're not. Because, look, the 1st of October is coming Saturday. So that's October. And if they're supposed to fight late November, you only have so much time to train unless they're already training. William really did it to himself. Jamie let him walk into every joke. Yeah, see, but that's the thing, man. Like, Andrade's like Doug Williams. He tried to clown he didn't really try to clown. Just Canelo clowned him because he didn't really want to fight him. But then again, it's like Andrade was no different from anyone else in that situation. Like, he didn't fight anybody. Like, the fighters that he fought, when you start wanting to chase a superstar, you have to qualify yourself on why you should fight and fight that superstar. You have to get in a situation where you're like, okay, how do I earn a fight with a guy for big bucks? How do I really legitimately do that? How do I do that in the right way? Not talking trash about him, because what you're going to do, you're going to be considered a troll in the social media era of today. That's what you're going to be considered. So if you're just calling people out, unless you have an obnoxious fan base already. But in Andrade's case, he didn't have anything. Kurt fantasy fight, Pac-Man versus Roberto Duran. Pac-Man. Pac-Man would beat Roberto Duran because he moves too quick. His footwork is too fast. We've seen Duran quit on a very focused Sugar Ray Leonard, right? So what do you think he's going to do with Manny Pacquiao? He could try to catch Manny coming in with the bull rush or whatever, because he comes in with like a pretty good straight right or whatnot. But I don't see him beating Manny Pacquiao. I think Manny Pacquiao would just touch him too much, and he'll probably quit on the stool. Joyce is a threat, but Fury knows how to invade shots and stick and move. It won't be a slugfest like with Parker. Well, it would be. You see, here's the thing. Tyson Fury's going to have to fight. Now, can he counter? Yeah, he can counter. He can counter. But Joe Joyce is not going to quit. And if he can't hurt Joe Joyce, you're going to see a long night of someone that has to stay disciplined, right? But yeah, he's going to have to stay with that because see, Joyce is going to back him up. He's going to give him that pressure. He's going to hit Joyce. But the question is, will Joyce hit him? So if Joyce can hit him back, we're going to see a fight. And then he's not, Tyson is not going to have any problems. He's not going to have any, should I say any choice? He's going to have a choice, and the choice is he's not going to be able to. No, because somebody's coming at him relentlessly with that constant pressure. He's gonna then have to see, yo, I gotta fight this dude, and see, Tyson knows that. Tyson knows, like, look, I'm gonna have to fucking fight this dude. I can't just sit there and let this big dude, because Joyce is coming. He's gonna come with it, and see, Joyce doesn't throw jabs. He doesn't snap with jabs. He probes with his jab. So a lot of times you'll see Joyce kind of just to touch you. And like he's so heavy-handed when he touches you, you know, he's gonna wait since he's so slow. He's gonna wait for you when he throws that jab out. If you watch the Joseph Parker fight again, you'll see what I'm talking about. Joe Joyce is so slow. What he does, he times your rhythm. So if he throws a jab and then you counter or you lean and you lean away from that jab and you throw a 1-2. Well, by that time, that jab, he'll either hook off the jab by the time you finish your 1-2. So let's say jab, then you throw 1-2, and then he's throwing a hook. Then he's catching you with that hook because he's timing what your rhythm is. So if you're normally like a 1-2, right? 1-2, right? 1-2, right? So he can throw one by the time you throw two because he's so much slower than you. But if he times it just right, he can catch you either 1-2, then he can catch you with the left hook, right? After you finish. I've seen Jaime Munguia do that to Beefy Smith, and it was beautiful. Because Beefy Smith, Liam's Beefy Smith, he was faster than Munguia, but Munguia knew he had the power. So what Munguia did, he ate two of those punches. Bop, bop. He ate the two pieces, no sides. Then he came around and he came, bop, bop, boom! And he hit him and dropped him. And I was like, oh, shit. Because what happened, Beefy Smith was so accustomed to bat, 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 bat. And then when he hit him, he took a picture. When you take a picture with shots, instead of prepare yourself for what could come back on the counterpunch, you could get knocked out or dropped. And what happened, he got dropped because he didn't anticipate Munguia, bap, bap, and bow, because he timed it. That's what Joe Joyce does. That's what he did to Joseph Parker. Even though Joseph Parker was fat, pudgy, and I feel he wasn't even at his best. I think he gained weight purposely, or he just was eating like a slob. What do you say about him? He likes to eat. So he didn't anticipate Joe Joyce to do that. And Joe Joyce just timed those shots, and I think if he can do that, he can do that with anybody. However, to be fair, he's only been in there with several people. He shared the ring with Usyk. He got beat by Usyk in that WSB or whatever. Daniel Dubois, he stopped him, almost broke his eye. Then he knocked out Joseph Parker. Now he's knocked out a couple people, like Brian Jennings and Vermaine Stavern, those guys, and Stavern is actually like a hard hitting guy. He has some heavy hands, But honestly, you have like Joyce. He has the experience. He might be slow, but dude, he's like the current George Foreman that we have today. Now, see, he's going to be a guy that may be looked at like a lot of people are looking at him as just an indestructible force. And he'll come in there and knock your block off. He'll knock your ass off. But at the end of the day, though, Joyce could come out victorious on a lot of fronts that you wouldn't expect him to. Tyson ain't dumb. Tyson knows, look, this guy here, I know is dangerous because I know Joseph Parker. I know what Joseph can do. I know what I can do with Joseph Parker. And I know and I know this guy was able to walk down Parker and take his best shots and land his own. Tyson would be a fool not to realize that and understand that. And he does because he's no fool. Tyson Fury's not a fool. He might be crazy as a bag of fucking cats, but he's no fool. He knows. That's why he had to give respect when respect was due. Fury's disrespect and name calling is getting bored. Andrew St. Clair, that's Tyson Fury. Like him or love him, that's who he is. He's going to talk shit. Every so once in a while, he's going to flip it and show you a different side. But most of the time, yeah, this is what we're going to get. Big Baby Anderson versus Wileen, who you got? Oh, man, that's a good fight. David Jones, that's a very good fight. I don't know because, here's Otto Wileen's been in there. He's like on the same level as Frank Sanchez because he's been in there with those guys. But what did he learn from those guys? See, just because the fighter's been in there and has got the experience doesn't mean they're going to do better with someone with a trickier style or just as tricky, because there was a reason why they got beat. Tyson Fury was able to get those shots regardless of that eye being bloody. Tyson showed heart. He was cut twice real bad. That shit really should have been stopped. You know that. We all know that. But it's Tyson Fury. It's his ESPN coming out party. That was his second fight on the introduction of that ESPN contract. So they can't do that. That's their investment. They've paid, 80 million pounds to this fucking guy. So they can't stop the fight on that type of technicality. That means he's got to fight Otto Wileen again. They're looking for that Wilder fight. They're looking for him to overcome, and they did. So it ended up being paying off because he was able to get past Wileen and then stop Wilder twice. Then stop White. So really, that's 5 fights. Swartz, Wileen, Wilder, White. Durang would kill him. I doubt that. Kurt, I can see Big Baby Anderson beating Ruiz, but Ruiz won't challenge himself to newcomers. Well, Ruiz don't like people that move. Ruiz is the kind of guy. You know what? Ruiz is a typical Mexican fighter. He's the type of guy that will fight you. I mean, he will fight you as long as you're coming near him. But if you're showing that you can move, if you're showing that elusiveness, he'll just want to call you a runner. Just like Canelo did Lara. See, Canelo didn't like the idea of trying to box because he couldn't outbox Lara. He was getting outpointed, which he did the whole fight. So what he did was he just started throwing punches to the body. And you could tell he was annoyed. When you can see when Canelo's annoyed, he'll try to pick you up. He'll show you how strong he is. That's just frustration. When he picked up Lara and, down there body slammed him, he did that because he was pissed off because this fucking long-arm Cuban is jabbing me and punching me from angles that I can't get to him at, which normally I could, but I can't with this guy. So he just started welling to the body. Like each chance he got it, blah, 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 blah. And then one time he did faint and he went upstairs and cut Lara's eye. And that was like the beginning of some momentum for him. But that was like round 9 already. You know what I mean? Lara shouldn't have let off of him because Lara seen how easy it is. Okay, I just 1-2 him, walk around the block. 1-2 him, walk around the block. Slip, miss, 1-2 him, walk around the block. That's all what was happening. And then but Canelo would come welling shots at his mix session, hitting him on the arms and You know what I mean? A lot of times, well, man, Lara, man, he got hit, he got beat up to the body. I'm like, no, he really didn't. We don't know how hard Lara hits. I mean, Canelo hits. Canelo dropped Beefy Smith with well-placed body punches. If that was the case, if he hit Lara with that many effective shots, why wouldn't Lara on the ground pissing blood? Counterpunch, because a lot of those punches, he was, Lara has his high guard up, and he's and a lot of those times it was hitting him on the guards, and he was blocking them. That's what Canelo was doing. So on the hands, on the forearms, arms, in the back, right? That's what he was hitting them with. He was just welling shots, and I guess that was enough for him to win. But of course, he was with Golden Boy at that time. I think Joyce is too slow for Fury. Well, I look at that is and see, Tyson knows that's going to be a physical fight. See, somebody that's strong and physical like that, Fury knows, like, yo, I gotta watch out for this guy because he's not gonna stop. I can try some rough house tactic shit, but this motherfucker's just as big as me. So if I try that, it's gonna be difficult. It's hard to handle someone just is probably bigger than you, because Joyce is a solid dude. He knows that. Who's your favorite boxer of all time? I don't know. Maybe Joe Louis. The most inspirational was my dad, Muhammad Ali. But I think the best boxer, the guy I love to see knock motherfuckers out, was Joe Louis. Mike Tyson was one too. I love Jack Dempsey. I love those guys. They were knocking guys out. But Joe Louis sticks out. Jack Johnson, he was real flashy, and I'm thinking, dude had big King Kong balls back in them days. You know what I mean? Because they were lynching people, and he had white women. In like 1908, you had white women, dude, and you fucking look like a bag of charcoal. What the fuck? You can't do that. Salute, Kurt. Good to see you. Capital 2 times. Counterpunch to you. Fantasy fight, Joe versus David Tua. That would be a good one, but Joyce has the reach. He has to watch out for that left hook of Tua, bro. Because understand something. And here's the unfortunate thing about Joe Joyce. If Joe Joyce ever gets that chin cracked one time, it's going to be easier and easier to knock him out after that. See, here's the thing. We praise Joe Joyce for what he can take and what he can, ditch out. But understand, that shit may come with a price one day. That style that he uses, the no head movement, easy to hit. That shit may come back to bite him in the ass, because the more competition, the higher your competition and your opposition to your competition is, the more likely somebody's going to catch you and hit you with something that you may not be able to take. The only thing is with Joyce, he's so fucking big and he's so sturdy and durable. Like when Joseph Parker hit him, it was kind of like, you know what I mean? It wouldn't like Ortiz hitting Ruiz. Because when Ortiz hit Ruiz, Ruiz's whole face and shit just turned like, damn, he ate that shit. But it's still, you can see like, Joe, why isn't he knocked out from that punch? Joe Joyce gets hit with a big shot. It's like, Joyce doesn't even respond to it from being a big shot. You know what I mean? It kind of bounces off Joe Joyce, like he is the juggernaut. Fury sparred a few rounds with Joyce. Yeah, he did. I don't know how Fury fans can put up with Fury capping all the time, fighting bums like Manuel Char and try to justify it. They'll do it. I mean, fans amaze me. That's why they're fans. Fans are fanatical. That's the root word for fanatical. Fan. Fans are type of people, they don't hold wisdom. So if you're a fan of someone, you're just a biased person anyway, and then more than likely, you're obnoxious, or you're not really intelligent about whatever, that guy or whoever, that girl or that rapper or that singer. They can't do wrong in your eyes. That football team, that quarterback, they cannot do wrong in your eyes. That comedian, they cannot do wrong in your eyes if you're a fan. If you're a fan, that means you're fanatical. And if you're fanatical, you don't have wisdom. That means you can't think responsibly or properly about anything. Realistically, you can't do that. You won't do that. So what you're going to do at the end of the day, you're going to just justify something just to avoid the real life fact or a good point that somebody made. You know, a strong point about Tyson. No, he ain't fought the best. Well, what do you mean? He's fought Deontay Wilder and Wilder's the best. Like, how do we know that and Wilder ain't fought the best? See, this is what happens. This is what happened. Tyson Fury got under Deontay Wilder's skin for simply stating the facts. Who have you fought? Who have you fought, Deontay? Who have you fought? Spilka, a cruiserweight. You fought a bodybuilder. You fought a football player. You fought a basketball player. You fought a 40-year-old Haitian. You haven't fought anyone. You fought a 50-year-old Cuban. Who else have you fought, Deontay? And Deontay got pissed. But he was telling the truth. But then if you beat that guy that hasn't beat but one guy, who are you really? You're just a guy that beat one guy. That beat one guy. That's it. I mean, you know, now he's the hardest puncher in heavyweight history. You change the narrative. Why? Because I want to take credit and I want full credit for fighting Deontay Wilder. And I think some vested interest in Fury doesn't want Wilder really to come back. Because if Wilder stays retired, he will always have that in his satchel. That's no different from Joshua retiring Vladimir. Vladimir Klitschko wasn't done when he got beat by Fury and outpunched or outboxed really by Fury. He was done when Anthony Joshua knocked his ass out in the 11th round. So you think if, you know, I don't even think Joshua thinks like that, but if he was a guy that was seeking credit from one fucking fight, that would be the fight, and he would advocate for Vladimir. Hey man, don't come back into the ring. I knocked your head off almost, you stretched neck. Don't come back. Go back to the Ukraine. You know, because he wants to be that guy that known to retire Vladimir versus if Vladimir comes back and he gets hurt by someone else, he has to share that victory. Like, damn, Wilder knocked him out now. So now it's not just Fury. Now it's Fury, AJ, and Wilder. So the three-headed dragon has taken out the old king, right? And he had a go with all of them and came up short with all of them, right? We all know that fight wasn't even close. It's just that the cuts is why everyone makes a big deal out of Eileen fight, but Fury beat him handily just got the cuts, that's all. Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with that. That's absolutely true. And a lot of people tried to say it was an upset or a robbery, and then you heard Wilder before Wilder was beaten boast about, see, I told you he ain't the same fighter since I hit him with that right, and he said good night, but the referee lied and gave him extra time. But that fight was mine. Did Joyce do sparring with Fury for the first Wilder fight? I'm not sure what fight, Lee Foster. Fury beat Wallin by about 8 rounds. Yeah, he beat him. I would say, yeah, 8-4. You know, if you were trying to really get, it would be 7-5. But Tyson Fury won that fight, man. He lost. He won it from really playing the rope-a-dope. You know, just catching Wallin, the shorter guy, trying to, you know, punch himself in, and Fury was uppercutting him. You know, catching him with pretty good shots. Joyce did sparring with Fury. Oh, Fury beat Wallin by about 8 rounds. Yeah, we already did that. Let's see. Well, damn. Kurt, you should have a live chat for some of those old fights like Canelo and Lara. Hey, you know what? That's not a bad idea. I'm going to do it one of these weekends that we don't have fights covered, you know, and I'll definitely do a live versus Canelo breakdown, you know. Fury would beat Joyce like he beat Klitschko. No, Klitschko was too tentative. Klitschko was tailor made for Fury, especially that fighting style. Best to ever do it. Beat the big German at the height of World War II. Joe carried his balls in a wheelbarrow. Holyfield is my guy, said D Nice. Kurt, you said Ali was your dad, or you meant dad and Ali? No, my dad. No, my dad. I am Jon Snow of the Ali clan. He's never been a bastard. Joey's best attribute ain't his chin, it's his athleticism. He ain't no mummy. He's dynamic for the whole 12. Well, he's slow, but he's physical. He's just not quick. Foreman was still fighting at 59, taking huge shots. No, he wasn't. He wasn't fighting that long. He wasn't fighting at 59, bro. I'm a fan of the Saints, and they are rubbish. Joyce has got the George Foreman energy. I think he has a better tank than George Foreman. George Foreman was already tired when Ali tired him out by round 8. AJ fans became corporate fans. They cheer on Matchroom and endorsements. I could give a shit about those endorsements. I just know he has them. You know, Fury only beat Klitschko. Well, he beat Dillian White. He beat Wilder. He beat Vilene. See, it's funny now, like when he beats someone big, you got to add everybody. Foreman's last fight, he was 46. Sly _ tendencies. Thank you. Your dad used to box too, Kurt. Yeah, actually he did. St. Don, I hope so far of the new players are looking good. The recent pick, Wilder standing next to Joyce in the gym. That boy looked huge next to Deontay. Man, that motherfucker is huge. Joyce is 6'6", bro. He is 6'6". White chin, super suspect. What's the biggest fight you've been to, brother? My biggest fight I've been to? Oh man, it was a Lara fight. My biggest fight that I went to live. It was a Lara fight. Lara fought Goucher in the Barclays. Kurt, Joyce Fury's brother said Joyce helped him out for the first Wilder fight. Okay. Wilene is 6'6". No, Wilene is 6'5". He's not 6'6". Trust me, he's not 6'6". Otto Vilene is like 6'5". Kurt, if you started hardcore training, who could you see yourself beating? Anthony Joshua, maybe Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker's tough though. That's a good question. Joyce would absolutely destroy White. I don't think I could beat someone like Michael Hunter. Maybe. Because Michael Hunter's actually a very good boxer, bro. I saw Joyce learn some new tricks. He knows how to use his size better. Now, ragdolling Parker in the clinch. Yeah, he's 37, but he's starting to box like 23, still learning. Kurt, would you fight a YouTuber? Yeah, I'd fight a YouTuber. Fuck it, why not? I'll do it for some money. You said you can beat AJ. No, I said I would fight AJ. I don't know if I could beat him. I'm thinking about the money. I want that Andy Ruiz money for fighting AJ. Can you beat Oscar Rivas, jab his head off? No. Well, you know what? Probably I could. But Oscar Rivas is one of the toughest sons of bitches around. Because see, what happens is Kurt versus Charles the God Martin. I wouldn't fight Charles Martin. He ain't got no money. I wouldn't be interested in fighting Wilder either. Nor Ruiz. Like, I don't want to fight short ass Ruiz. That motherfucker hit me 8 times. Hit me 4 good times and 2 behind the back of the head. Nah, I'm good. Kurt, I can actually see the Juggernaut beating Fury if that fight ever developed. Philip Hill, you said it first, brother. Could you beat Jared Anderson? Nope. I ain't gonna beat nobody. I ain't fighting nobody that fucking young and hungry. You crazy? They gotta at least be in their 30s. I'm turning 20 years old on September 30th, brother. I'm glad that Jesus had mercy on my soul. I should be in hell right now. Man, I'm gonna tell you, the current hell is jail. White got a new trainer now, Buddy McGirt. Oh yeah, that's cool. The real Dutch Van Deerland. John Fury has got balls as big as a young man. He does. Bigger than any man with any Yankee cock. I'm like, what? Bigger than any man with any Yankee cock? Okay. Ruiz, a known behind the head puncher. King Mike Hall. That ain't no lie. And see, one thing they should have saw, and if I'm team Joshua, I'm like, yo, that motherfucker hit my man in the back of the head. Look, the first knockdown, if you look back, yeah, he chinned Joshua. Joshua was hurt. Maybe Joshua would have went down. That's not the point. The point is, if you got a man hurt to that degree, to that magnitude, you don't have to add insult to injury and hit that man on the back of the head. You know what I mean? You don't like, that's like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, you know what I mean? That should be, yeah, he's down. But then he should also be warned, like, look, stop that. They're so busy. 1, 2, 3. And I think that contributes to, how do I call it? Lazy or impatient referees. They should do White versus Wileen now without a rematch clause. They should. I would like to see that. But, White, he's trying to get, bigger fights, of course. And I look at White now. I look at him like as a fighter that I think he was overrated. And I think that fights, I already knew that about Dillian White. I knew that about him. Why? Because if you can remember, he was going to fight Jermaine Franklin. We were like, who the fuck is Jermaine Franklin? Remember when Dillian White was going to come over here and he was going to fight a American? And it was supposed to be like Jermaine Franklin. And everybody was like, what? Who the fuck is that? Why are you fighting him? And then Charles Martin was like, hey, man, I'm going to knock your ass out. I'm going to give you something. Right? And then he didn't fight him, claiming, oh, he just wants the money and he just wants a payday. I'm like, fuck it, give it to him. Joshua did. So if Joshua could give him a payday, but you can't, he was the current IBF champion, probably the worst one we had, but nonetheless, he was still somewhere or in some place that Dillian White hadn't been. Jared Anderson versus Chisora. I don't want to see Chisora fighting somebody young. Kurt, did you watch Nicola Value? Oh, man, you know what? I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch that. These 3 knockdowns in the Ruiz Ortiz fight were so weird. Ortiz didn't look hurt, but he kept going down. I think Lennox said it too. When Ortiz fought Martin, his head can take it, but his legs can't. That's funny. Yeah, the floating rib shot. Kurt, your biggest upsetters in the game. Ah, man, like everybody else's. I mean, Joshua, Andy Ruiz, probably in our era, that would probably be the worst. White will be fighting again November 26th. Rumored opponent is Sergey Kuzman and Jermaine Franklin. Yeah. Shit, fight Charles Martin. That's at least somebody we heard of, bro. Personally, I think White's peaked. His punch resistance has went away, way down. I would be ashamed if he never would won a world title. It would be. He's given plenty of entertaining fights. He has. Harry Travolta, counterpunch to you. Kige, just to be clear, the whole Fury versus Char isn't real. Dan Dubois is fighting Char in November. Great. Fury is going to wait till February or March to fight Usyk. Well, that would be good. I would prefer him not to fight at all besides see him fight Char. But then again, that would really make me fucking mad because that means that you had time, motherfucker, to make the Joshua fight. So that tells you if he doesn't fight anybody, that means that he told a fucking lie. He said, I'm going to fight somebody by December 3rd, and I ain't got time to wait on Anthony Joshua, you heard. So if that's the case and he doesn't fight anybody, man, I'm going to roast his ass like marshmallows because he knew for a fact you weren't going to fight any fucking body. And it almost goes back to that shit with what's the guy's name he wanted to fight like late 2020. I get Caballel, remember him? And what happened to that fight? Nothing. No one ever fought. Give me a fight. That's why I can't fight. Give me a fight, please. Shelly, give me a fight. Let's fight. You know what? I'm done. I'm not going to fight Deontay Wilder. I'm through with Deontay. Right? That's what happened. But what happened to I get Caballel? Nothing. But that's why he supposedly didn't want to fight Wilder or whatever. He should have fought Wilder late 2020 and been done with it. And then see, by that time, they probably would have had a Joshua Fury fight had Tyson Fury and his side stopped bullshitting. See, I get Caballel never got that opportunity. You remember Frank Warren? Yeah, he signed a contract. I got Caballel. He's going to sign. He has the money. We have the purse. We're just looking for a date for the fight. And that shit never happened. So just spare me that about Tyson Fury. Tyson, he does that. Kurt, no one wanted to hold fights during lockdown except Eddie in his garden. Okay, wonderful. But then here's the deal. Fight still happened. Kurt versus Hatman exhibition match. The Joker, I know nothing about Hatman. That motherfucker might be 6'6", 260. I'm going to fucking punch you, Kurt. I'm going to really give you walloping. Yankee boy. Confession of a nightclub. I'm gonna beat your ass like you're a drunken bum. Not cash cows like Fury. Don't forget the ESPN deal. Absolutely, but he had a deal. So it's one thing to say okay, if what you're saying, okay, check this out. Say, Don, what you're saying is true. I get it. Well, hey, nobody wanted to fight during that time. That wasn't the reason. White Pavette can happen August 22 prime months of COVID. Yeah, but I mean, that's Matchroom. He's saying only Matchroom fighters wanted to fight. Tyson didn't say anything about Matchroom. He didn't give a shit. He didn't give a shit at all. Bob mentioned some shit about not being able to have the Wilder fight during COVID season. Now, he said that, but that had nothing to do with Tyson Fury and what his claims were to not fighting Wilder. The contract expired. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to fight Wilder again. He's a bum. Otto Vailene is wasting his and our time. He needs to fight someone. Joyce is a great matchup. Joe Joyce. Kurt, the web say you got more Fazoons than veterans, White or Chisora. Bars. Now, I don't know. I don't want to see any more redos. No more rematches. No more of that, the same old song. I don't want to hear none of it. AJ could fight anyone at that time and not rely on gate money. Fury couldn't. I mean, his other fights were shit anyway. They were shit. Like, Tom Swartz, flop. Otto Vailene, flop. They were terrible. Otto Vailene having a hard time finding opponents after the Fury fight. Joyce is hot at the moment. Fury versus Joyce would do a great pay-per-view. Yeah, it's two Brits. And all he would do is talk about Joshua the whole time. I met Fury on his speaking tour and gave him a 10 of peas for a present. He went, I'll cherish these. We need Chisora versus Jang 50-50 fight. I don't know. I mean, they're both hard hitters, but I think at the end of the day, they're both old. And I think Chisora has just been in so many wars. He might not be 40, but he might as well be 40. Joyce will KO Fury because his style and chin and retaliation punches. We'll see. Joyce is over, though. He needs to go away. Joshua's over. Okay. Will Wilder quit after he gets beat by... Yeah, he will if that happened. I tried, y'all. It's over. Will Wilder quit? Okay. Joyce, such a naturally big guy. same height as AJ and 30 pounds heavier. Yeah, that's true. Like him and AJ look eye to eye. All those guys, if you're 6'6" and up, bro, you're tall. You're an NBA height. You're gigantic. You're a descendant from one of the fallen angels that fell out of heaven. That's what you are. You're a giant, bro. 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", 6'9". Dude, you're huge. I'm looking. Listen, good friend of mine. Love him to death. Dean White, right? Big Dean is probably about 6'4", 6'5", maybe. I think he's 6'5". And I look up at that motherfucker like, damn, this is a big bass. He's like here. He's like this to me. Like literally, he's like this to me. They might not seem that because I'm 6'2", but that motherfucker, he's got me. He's a big old motherfucker. You know, I don't want to see Chisora come out like Holyfield, but salute to him. He's a warrior. Well, I don't want to see him look like that either. You know, like Chisora seems like he don't give a shit. I don't care, man. I just want my money, man. I don't care, man. As long as my wife loves me. That's all he says. Dean White isn't his real name. Dean White. Rocco Sage. Wilder wouldn't flatten him. Fury could beat him on points, though. How do I rate Helenius? I don't know. Probably 7 or 8. I remember people speculating a couple years back that Hatman is Dean White. No. Hatman is not fucking Dean White. I would have knew his voice talking to him. Hey, Cut, your name is Cut? Big up. I'm like, wait a minute. You Hatman? Hatman? You know. Are you a stuntman, bro? Harry Travolta. Yes, I am. Pleasure to meet you. Joe Joyce apparently has the bone density of Paleolithic triglodyte, whatever the hell that is. Something prehistoric. Has Joyce been fact-checked on the bone density thing? I'm not sure. I keep hearing he has 3 times the bone density or all that. I wouldn't argue if he did. Helenius is Swedish, living in Finland. Like many Swedes, he called out Wiley years ago. I would like to see that. They're not brothers or even related to each other in any way. But yeah, man, the battle of bastards. I think these guys need to find out who they link up with. I think they need to find out where they stand, and I think all of them need to find out and stop being scared. AJ's career has not been diminished in any way. He came in old, learned quick, and rose right to the top, and took on a pound of best, and just lost out. I mean, he fought a lot of guys, man. Honestly, we need a 3-1 handicap for anyone to beat Manuel Char. Joe Joyce bones are made of adamantium. Damn. If you punch someone with adamantium bones, your fucking hand would be broke. Joshua versus Joyce, who you got? If AJ doesn't get him out there in 6 rounds, is in big trouble. No, I don't think so. But you have to understand, Joshua hits a lot harder than fucking Parker. That ain't gonna see. If Joshua runs out of gas, he's finished. Because Joyce is gonna pick him apart. But if he don't, he can box, he can move, he can counter, pull counter, especially that jab that fucking Joyce throws. You know, Joshua's gonna time that shit and catch him. And it's gonna be a pivotal moment in that round. Fuck, missed most of your live, like your style, Kurt, but don't always agree. Trade, counterpunch to you. That's how it is about. To be fair, Char, he had got shot and had double hip operation. Oh, damn. Which Class A boxer did AJ fight despite a washed-up Klitschko and Usyk? A Class A fighter? We don't know who the fuck's Class A. Daniel Mickelson. We don't know who is who. That's why it's the battle of bastards. because these bastards haven't fought each other. See, even if he would have beat Tyson Fury, if AJ would have fought and beat Tyson Fury 3 years ago, AJ would have still been looked at as a guy that fought nobody. Why? Because how could you rate someone like Tyson Fury when Tyson Fury wasn't even ranked? Who did he fight versus who did he beat? He beat Vladimir Klitschko. So did Joshua. Joshua beats Fury. So fucking what? He beats Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder fought nobody. So if he beats Deontay Wilder? He beat Wilder. So what? Listen, this is what it comes down to. If Joshua would have whooped Wilder, whooped Fury, and none of them did anything, it really wouldn't be significant. It really wouldn't. Why? Because those guys haven't done anything. Does AJ need to do to make it to the Hall of Fame or for his legacy? Hall of Fame, all-time great. He has to keep fighting. He has to start winning. Smash that like button for the homie Kurt. Counterpunch to you, brother. People like Wilder, Hrgovic, Zhang will KO Joyce for sure. I'm not saying that for sure. He still hasn't got that jaw broken. They say Joe Joyce got a brain-sized diamond sitting between his ears. Eric Burks, I don't know what's going on with Spencer Crawford, man. I don't know. Joyce was hurt and dropped in the amateurs in headgear and bigger gloves. His chin is good. Chin is good, but he's far from invincible. People act like he could be shot and the bullet would bounce off. I feel sad for old man Zhang. That was a robbery. Well, he's old too. Frank Warren certainly changed his tune about Joe Joyce recently. Mind how gutted he was when he beat Dubois. Yeah, that was bad. And you had fucking Sam Jones talking shit. Dubois hasn't fought anyone. He hasn't fought any fucking one. I know I keep saying it these days. Better jump on Jared Anderson now or him gonna retire you. The only reason AJ looks beatable compared to Fury and Wilder is because AJ is fighting the better competition. You see, no one has fought no one else has fought Usyk. No one else has fought Andy Ruiz. No one else has fought Pulev. No one else besides, matter of fact, no one else has fought fucking Povetkin except for Dillian White. You know what I mean? Not all of them fought Dillian White. Dillian White has a mutual opponent with Anthony Joshua. So does Vladimir Klitschko. Who else? It's just too many fucking fighters that haven't fought each other for us to know where they're at. So you're like, oh, well, what does AJ have to do? It's what does all these fighters have to do to keep proving that they're the best? Dubois or Anderson, who has the better, higher calling? I think now Anderson, he has the potential. Kurt, did you do interviews Mike Tyson in the end? No, not yet. It's coming, though. I'm ready for the next 6 months of hearing people call out Joyce to the top contender. Yes, the division has halted over the last 3 years based on the eye test. Jared Anderson seems to have the higher ceiling potential. Joyce versus Jarrell Miller would be an interesting one. Yeah, it would, as long as it lasts. Has Joyce given the blueprint for success, amateurs and Olympians? Usyk says he wants to fight Canelo. How do you see that going? Pain. But yeah, guys, I'm going to jump off here. I appreciate every one of you guys for coming on. God bless you. Be safe. And everyone has been Counterpunch. Peace!